Welcome to Wizznotes Mathematics video tutorials. This is part 2 of the measurement quiz number 1 solutions video tutorial. Question 4. Find the surface area of, and it gives us this nice prism. Now to find the surface area of a prism, the simplest way to do it is to break the prism down into smaller what? Shapes. Yeah. So what you do? We realize, okay, let's take these two triangles. They're the same. They have the same height and the same base. 22, 18. This one is going to also be 18. This side is also going to be 22. So we're going to find the area of this triangle and we're going to multiply by 2. That'll give us the area of this one and this one. Then we're going to find the area of the rectangular back of the diagram. This is the section with dimensions 22 cm by 48 cm. Then we're going to find the area of the bottom rectangle. That is the one with 48 cm as the length, 18 cm as the width. Then we're going to find the area of the top rectangle. That is this one with 48 cm as the length and 24 cm as the width. Then we're going to add all those areas together, and that will give us the surface area of the figure. Oh, that's a mouthful. So let's look at the solution. Area of a right angle triangle is equal to half base times height. And so that gives us half times 18 times 22 cm, and that gives us 198 cm squared. Now that's just the area of one of the triangles. Remember, the prism had two triangles, so multiply that by 2. And that gives us 396 cm squared. Next, we'll find the area of the rectangular bottom. Remember, the area of a rectangle is length times width. So that's 48 cm times 18 cm, and that gives us 864 cm squared. Next, we'll find the area of the rectangular back. The dimensions for that rectangle are 48 cm and 22 cm. When we multiply those, we get 1056 cm squared. The next procedure is to find the area of the rectangular top. Now, the dimensions for that rectangle is 48 cm and 24 cm. When we multiply them, we'll get 1152 cm squared. And then the total surface area of the prism is to add up all those areas of different sides that we found. So we're going to add the area of the two triangles to the area of the rectangular bottom, to the area of the rectangular back, to the area of the rectangular top. And when we add those all up, we get 3468 cm squared, and that is your answer. Okay, guys? Alright, let's move on to part 2. Now, part 2 asks us to find the surface area of this pyramid. So we know the side length is 7 cm, and it gives us this pyramid has a square as the base. So it's 14 cm squared, 14 cm squared. All the sides of this is 14 cm squared. Now let's look at the solution. So the first thing we do is to find the area of the base. The area of a square is L squared. So that's 14 cm squared, and that gives us 196 cm squared. Now that we know the area of the base, we can basically find the area of the pyramid. So the total surface area of a pyramid is equal to the area of the base plus half times the perimeter of the base, which is perimeter is the total distance around the base. It is a squared. Since the base is a square, that is basically 4 times one of the sides. That is 4 times 14 cm times the height of the side, which is 7 cm. So that gives us 196 cm squared plus half times 56 cm times 7 cm. When we cancel, we end up getting 196 cm plus 196 cm squared, and that gives us 392 cm squared. And that is the area of the pyramid. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Question 5 asks us to find the volume of, and it shows us a nice cylinder. So it gives us in the diagram, it gives us this 20 cm, which is the height of the cylinder, and it tells us that the radius is equal to 12 cm. Now the formula for the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times h. Now remember, we're using pi as 22/7. And so that is equal to 22/7 times r, which is 12. And that 12 is going to be squared, so that's 12 cm squared plus the height, times the height, that is 20 cm. And that gives us 22/7 times 144 cm squared times 20 cm. And that gives us 63,360 cm cube over 7. That gives us 9,051.43 cm cube. Remember, volume is always in cube. And how did we get that cube? Cm squared times a cm, that is cm to the 3, cm cube. Alright, let's go on to part 2. Part 2 asks us to find the volume of, and it shows us a sphere. And the sphere gives us the radius as 14 cm. Now it's important for you to remember the different formulas for the different figures. So you need to know all the formulas, right? And the formula for a sphere is, for the volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi times r cube. So that gives us 4/3 times, my pi is 20/7, times 20/7 times 14, which is the radius. I will cube that. Now that gives us 88 times 2,744 centimeter cube, and that's over 21. 3 times 7 is 21, over 21. And that gives us 11,498.67 centimeter cube. And that is the volume of the sphere. Question 6. A bus travels 12 hours at an average speed of 50 km per hour. What distance did the bus travel? So this question gives us the time that the bus traveled for, and it gave us the speed that the bus traveled at, and it's asking us to find the distance that the bus traveled. Now remember, speed is equal to distance over time. So what we do, we just use this formula and we fill in what we know. So we know the speed, that is 50 km per hour. We don't know the distance what we want to find, and we know the time. Time is 12 hours. So what we do then is to make the distance the formula of this equation. To make, not the formula, to make it the subject of the equation, sorry. Now to make this the subject of the equation, we basically cross multiply. When we cross multiply, we're going to get the d alone on one side. So we have d is equal to 50 times 12. And what we did was to write out this formula. The units for the speed km over h times 12 over h, just to make it easier for us when we're dividing. So the next thing we did was to cancel the similar units. So the h right here cancel the h, and then we'll multiply the 50 times 12, and that gives us 600 kilometers. And that's the answer. Remember, distance is always in kilometer. Distance doesn't have a time unit. You only have kilometer or meter or whatever unit that question asks us to use. So 600 kilometer is the answer. Okay, guys? Now, thanks for watching this installment of Wizznotes Mathematics video tutorials. The PowerPoint presentation will be made available so you can look over my explanations, or you can just replay the video. Until next time, thanks for making it Wizznotes.com.